What up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a hype topic. Now that we know all of the main sets in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet era, we are going to be ranking them as in from worst to best. And then we're going to see which ones are, the best to invest in based on certain metrics. This is good, especially if you're a beginner and you don't know what to look for when you're investing in Pokemon, because I know a lot of people are getting into it. This will help you out with not only which of these sets do I think will perform the best, but also you'll get the sense of what kind of criteria I use. And then if you have your own criteria, if you're more experienced, seasoned, leave it in the description below. But we're going to be looking at a lot of factors and coming into terms with which ones are in fact the best Pokemon investment booster boxes of the Scarlet and Violet era to invest in. Now, before I forget, thank you so much for the support on the channel recently. That recent vid you guys liked a lot, and I'm happy about that. Pretty much best Pokemon investments right now, June 2025. So if you haven't checked that out, you can check that out after this video. But we do talk about Pokemon investing here on this channel. So if you like this kind of stuff, this kind of content, you want to see more of it, then be sure to subscribe. We are approaching 3.3K. Very cool. Now, if you're an investor thinking about how you can't find any Pokemon products at a good price these days, I got something that helped me. Thank you to PokeNotify for sponsoring this video. PokeNotify have a Discord that monitors hundreds of websites globally and notifies you when deals become available near you, whether it's from Walmart or Pokemon Center or somewhere else. I've benefited from this service personally by getting my hands on sets like Journey Together and even 151 at Walmart prices. And if you're interested, you can get a free 3-day trial, see if you like it, and use promo code PIRATE25 for 25% off your first month if you do. Link to that is in the description, and on to the video. All right, so here I made this little, I didn't really make it, I found one, but then I added a few of the most recent sets because they weren't added already. We're mainly focusing on, like I said, the booster boxes here, the main sets. If you guys enjoyed this one, hit that like button, and if you guys enjoyed enough, I'll do another one based on the specialty sets, because they're a different beast in the sense that you can get booster boxes for specialty sets. So we're going to be focusing primarily on, booster boxes for this video, and then the other focus will probably be more on like, Pokemon Center ETBs or normal ETBs for the specialty sets. So we're going to start in order here, actually. We're going to go first Scarlet and Violet. And I'm going to here look at the sets so that it's not just coming from nowhere. You guys get a sense of what's in the set before we make a decision. And I haven't thought about how I'm going to rank everything yet. I have a sense of the best ones and the worst ones, but let's see how it goes. So here we have one of the things to look for, total set value. This usually goes up over time. So what it does is usually it comes out really strong, really high, then it dips after 6 months to a year, and then in the long term it will usually go up from there. So here we have 491 USD. I fully expect this to go up as we move towards the next era, and especially the era following that. Like we're seeing right now, what's really popping off recently is the Sun and Moon era. After that was the Sword and Shield era. After that was the Scarlet and Violet era, which is now finishing up. So I'm saying this is going to be going up next era. This is going to be going up the era after that. So keep that stuff in mind. And then you also in this set have Gardevoir. That's a fan favorite Pokemon. Plus it introduced these stories in this one. So you have the girl moving in to the house initially with the first stage evolution routes. And you have the dad there helping to pack. Then here you have the Kirlia. And then the daughter is now a grown woman with her own child. And then you have the Gardevoir, and she's with her husband here, and she's a grandma pretty much. So it's a very emotional journey with a fan favorite Pokemon. And it's the first really exposure we had to this evolution line storytelling that pretty much Scarlet Violet made famous. I don't care what people say, illustration rares and special illustration rares, they're pretty much alt arts. Like anyone who says they're not, it's literally the same thing. The only difference is the name. But what Scarlet and Violet did do that's new is they did these storylines, especially with the evolutions. So I will say That's something unique to Scarlet and Violet, and this is perhaps the best example of it right in base set. Then we have the Drowsy. We know this took over. Komi as a famous artist. We know this took over and was very popular for a good while. Every YouTuber was making videos about it. I do think it'll do well in the long term. And so there's that. Then there's all these other cards that, whether you like them or not, they are holding value. Riolu, I obviously like the evolution more, but Riolu has a lot of screen time in Pokemon Journeys, which was like pretty much Ash's last season. So because of that, I think people are attached to Riolu and the whole evolution line. So that could hold value into the future. Slowpoke, right? I like that. A Gen 1 Pokemon. And then, of course, you have the 2 legendaries. And specifically, this Miraidon just looks awesome. I love the futuristic feel of it. And then you just have the illustration rares, making it more and more deep of a set. So in that sense, I do think that Scarlet and Violet, as far as bases go, a lot of people say it's arguably one of the best, if not the best, in recent times at least. Obviously, there was original base set, but so for that reason, I will put right now in B. I may change these later, but I think among these, and keep in mind the worst, the F, let's say, here is not bad. I do think all of these will go up in value. You can make money on all of these investments. I'm just saying what I think based on the Pokemon in there, based on the art quality, based on the value, which is tied to pull rates and everything, what I think how good each set is. So Scarlet and Violet base, I actually do like it a good amount, so I'm going to put it in B right here. And like I said, F is not necessarily bad. Fuck, you know what? I shouldn't say that. But you know what? I'm not even going to include F. So I'm just going to go C because nothing is that bad here. So I'm just going to put the worst stuff in C. Let's see. Chronologically, next we have Paldea Evolved. So Paldea Evolved is top tier, no doubt, when we're looking at booster boxes. We have the waifu, one of the waifus of the era, but obviously Twilight Masquerade switched things up there. But this for a while was the big waifu card of the era. Then you have the Magikarp, which I love as a card. Particularly, I love Shinji Kanda as an artist, and I have before this Shinji Kanda like craziness, which is why I bought a Magikarp when it was super cheap in PSA 10 compared to now. And Magikarp, whatever people will tell you, has a history of having expensive cards. So there's the shiny Magikarp, and I believe it's Neo Revelations, the first edition one. Check the price on that. Then more recently, there was Magikarp and Wailord, which I bought for 1,500 Canadian. Last time I checked, it was double that or more. I saw sales for double that or more for the PSA 10 for the alt art of the Magikarp and Wailord card. And now you have this Shinji Kanda, which is up there, if not the most expensive PSA 10 of the entire era right now. So, well, probably the Umbreon's probably giving it a run for its money, but I'm not even sure if the Umbreon's more right now. Not 100% on that. You guys can fact check me in the comments. But this one is up there. Top tier chase card, especially in PSA 10. So then we also have the Raichu here. We have the Tyranitar. There's a reason this one's the most expensive booster box right now, right? One of them is that it's old. Another one is that there's a lot to like about this set. So right there, 3 fan favorite Pokemon: Tyranitar, Raichu. You can look at the history of the cards. Tyranitar had a chase card as recently as what was the set? Battle Styles. The chase card was the Sleepy Tyranitar. So all 3 of these cards in Pokemon are very popular. I'm not saying the most popular, but they are popular. And then you have a bunch of cool illustration rares for some people that may like a particular kind of Pokemon, right? If these new starters end up being popular, Meryl, Gen 2, I think Gen 2 has a lot of love there. The same goes for Heracross, right? Gen 2. Meowscarada was my starter in this generation. I like Meowscarada. I'm glad that's the second stage evolution with the most or third final stage evolution with the most expensive there. That's cool. I know the Skeledirge was keeping up with it or surpassing it at some points. And like yeah, look at just again, we talked about Komiya as an artist. So if you like Komiya as an artist, it'll be people just collecting for that too. So you have this whole line that you can get in Komiya artwork. You have Sudowoodo, Gen 2, and a great artwork. I love the fact that he's hiding with the trees there. I've told you guys how much I like Pally and Tauros. Gen 1, it's a variant of it, but still amazing artwork in a Gen 1 Pokemon. And then we know when we associate Tauros, there's a lot. So I'm not going to get into depth. Like, this isn't just a Pally Evolved, but you see that there's a lot of stuff to like here. And on the top, there is a lot of, like, the big three, which I call them, not counting the Iono, which again helps the set, but I think the Pokemon will do the best in the long run. So there is good top tier chases, and then there's a lot of depth there. But, and there is a but with all of these except one set. There's a but in the sense that the special illustration rares are not that good. So Iono's special illustration rares, Chi-Yu, and I'm not saying that the artwork isn't good. This is amazing artwork, but it's not fan favorite Pokemon, yet to be proven, and it's unlikely that it'll become a fan favorite Pokemon. So that's what's holding this set back from being an S tier, and I'm going to be more picky than most, but this is a top tier set, and I'm putting it right in A. Obsidian Flames. Okay. So Obsidian Flames, by the way, guys, total set value for Pally Evolved, 1,068, one of the highest. So that's something to keep in mind. Over 1,000 is really good. All right, so Obsidian Flames, people love to hate it. I think the least set value, yeah, only 278. I'm still, hate me if you want, I'm still putting it B tier. All right. Why? The reason it's low value right now, which again, I think it can grow over time. One of the main reasons it's low value is because pull rates were easy here. Something is easier to pull. There's more of them out there potentially. People value it less. So that's something to keep in mind. Yet, as time goes on, you'll see like this Charizard will go up in price. This Ninetales will go up in price by the time, like I said, when the era after the next era is ending, the fan favorite Pokemon, the fan favorite cards are going to be going up. And here we have so many, I'd say, fan favorite Pokemon plus Gen 1 Pokemon, which to me is always a good sign. Like there's a lot of people, you saw the popularity of 151. A lot of people love those OG Pokemon, and they went hard with them on Obsidian Flames. So stuff to like, this Charizard. It's sick. It's a very cool card. This one, gold cards, I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't have it. I'm not investing in it. But then we have Ninetales. Love that card. And by the way, if you guys start looking at the PSA 10 prices, because these were hard to grade, you'll start getting a lot higher and more significant total set value. Ninetales, right? I love that. I love the Cleffa, a Gen 2. I love the Pidgeot. The artwork is iffy. I feel like some people will like it, some people won't. But what's cool is we have the entire line. So we have the Pidgey, Pidgeotto, Pidgeot. I do think there will be people collecting special illustration rares and illustration rares of Gen 1 Pokemon. They'll try to complete the illustration / special illustration Pokedex, and they'll have to get all three of these from this set. You have Gloom, absolutely gorgeous card. Caesar, a fan favorite Pokemon. Gen 2, very cool artwork, badass. And Houndour, not my favorite, but if you guys love the Houndoom later on that we get, the Houndour, this goes to match it. And then this, again, we're falling off here because this isn't, this usually you have multiple Japanese sets combined for one English set. Here, there wasn't, which is part of the reason why there were worse pull rate or easier pull rates than usual. So we start to fall off here with Lechonk. It's cute, but, you know, it's Lechonk. And then Larvitar, first stage evolution, or the basic, not sure what the terminology is, but the first stage evolution of Tyranitar. So, yeah, not not horrendously unpopular. Like obviously Tyranitar is popular, but it's not Tyranitar, right? So here I would count at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 solid cards to get from this set, which I think will help this set overall. And despite people thinking and trashing on it because the total set value is bad, when you look at the cards, the actual booster boxes have been doing really good compared to how much people hate the total set value. So that's another thing going for. It has Charizard on it. I think there's a lot of reasons that people are sleeping on this set, and I think there's a lot of things to like about it. So that's why I'm putting it in B, not in C, which is the lowest I'm giving. Paradox Rift. All right, here I'll have to put it in. I'll have to put it in B too. Okay, so why Paradox Rift in B? Let's see. Let's open that up. Total set value, immediately you see that it's better than all the other ones in which one? B tier. Because, and here's the main thing, there's a lot of illustration rares. So it has a Paldea Evolved thing going on there, but without those as much heavy hitters as Paldea Evolved has, obviously. So the Groudon is the big one. I got in PSA 10 before it popped off, before it was the most expensive card. I knew, it's a fan favorite legendary. I knew it would do well. Roaring Moon was leading at that point. Again, new Pokemon, variant of Salamence, I believe, like a Paradox Historic Salamence. I don't even think Salamence is that popular, really. So a variant of it, I didn't think it would stand the test of time, really. This Altaria, I don't think it's a fan favorite Pokemon, but it is a nice artwork. And then it's just more about depth. Honestly, after the Groudon, my favorite is Steelix. Gen 2 Pokemon, like Caesar, like one of those new evolutions we got in Gen 2 that people were really hyped about. Plus, you have interesting artwork with him helping out in construction work. So I like this one a lot. Another one that I am interested in and seeing how it does is Garchomp. Why? Garchomp has a lot of interesting cards historically. So you have the Garchomp and Giratina. Then you have Cynthia always associated with Garchomp. And because of that, you have Cynthia's Garchomp being a main chase card in Destined Rivals as well. So you're almost associating Garchomp with Cynthia's popularity there as well. Plus, this card is also one of the few, the other one is Charizard, the other one is Greninja, with these hats that aren't the rainbow hats. They're just a specific different element hat. So Greninja was fighting, Charizard was dark, and Garchomp is water here. So because those are so rare, they did it so little, and all of them are popular Pokemon, I think each of them will do well. This one might do the worst of the three, but it doesn't mean that it'll do bad. So that's something interesting about this. And then you have a lot of depth, like Plusle and Minun, like, right, some Pikachu fans might like these, that obviously Pokemon that were inspired by Pikachu as well. Some people like food artworks, right? There's something for everybody. Gen 2 lovers will like Magby here. There we have storylines, like with the Swablu and the Altaria, right? So, again, there's plenty of depth in here, but it remains only B tier for me because it doesn't have the big chase cards of Paldea Evolved. Now, if we think about which one came next after Paradox Rift, we have Temporal Forces. All right, so Temporal Forces, I am not a big fan of. People always like to hype it up. I dislike it more than most. It has a, relatively speaking, compared to a lot of the sets we looked at, a good current set value, or at least not a horrible one. But here's the issue. they brought in more difficult pull rates. But are you going to get really excited by pulling any of these cards? I did think the best special illustration rare even before it was the Iron Crown was the top one. I thought Raging Bolt was the best before that, and it ended up becoming the best. So there's that. But even Raging Bolt is not that interesting, right? They didn't even call it Ancient Raikou. They didn't call it Ancient Legendary Dogs. And then the best one, Raging Bolt, is it enough? I don't know if people will care. Ghastly was a highlight for me because it's that Gen 1 Pokemon. It has Haunter and Gengar, and I like the artwork. But can the Ghastly, and for example, like, some of the Gen 1 love is good, but can it really hold? Is it really that meaningful? That's the question. So and then we have Arbok here, right? Team Rocket Pokemon. That's cool. You have Lickitung. Like, I like that. I did have all those single cards in my collection. A lot of people like the Metagross, but I just don't like a lot here. That's the thing. Like, the main chase cards, in my opinion, are forgettable. They're not going to rise to the top of the chase cards of the era. And so as a whole, I just think this set is forgettable, and I've been saying that since it was over 1,000 in set value. So for that reason, Temporal Forces, I'm putting in C. I know that will piss off a lot of people, but that's where I'm putting it. Again, I do think all of these Pokemon sets will go up in value over time. I think if you look at the average of historical Pokemon sets and booster boxes and the cards in them, I think the average of Scarlet and Violet is arguably the best out of any other era because of all the awesome illustration rares. But out of the already really high level that Scarlet and Violet brings, I think Temporal Forces, because it lacks those fan favorite Pokemon and honestly great artworks, I put it below there. So after Temporal Forces, let's see what it was. Twilight Masquerade is where things started to shift, because even Paldea Evolved wasn't like hailed and celebrated at the time of its release, but things started to change with Twilight Masquerade. So Greninja became the first big chase card in Raw, right? Whatever you like about the Magikarp and PSA 10, in Raw, Greninja became the first big chase card. Then we talked about the Iono as a waifu. Hands down, this is going to be the waifu set, because we have the Parent and Carmine holding a lot of value. We have a fan favorite Pokemon with one pretty much representing every evolution, and you know how crazy people are for evolutions. So we have Eevee there, but, and again, except for one, I have a but to say for every single thing. It drops off after that. It's very top heavy. I do like this Chansey. There are some highlights. Hisuian Growlithe goes with the Parent. So there are some stuff to like. There is some depth. There's Infernape, there's Pinsir, right, Gen 1. There is some depth there. And just some nice artworks like the Torkoal. That's a very nice one. I actually really like that. But if we're being real, if you look at the popular Pokemon, if you look at the chase cards here, the value, which is good when you compare it to most Scarlet and Violet sets, it's good, but it's top heavy. And there isn't as much good depth as I would like. So for that reason, I'm putting it in A, even below Paldea Evolved. Now, Paradox Rift, I'm kind of not really ranking these. Yeah, I'll just, these are all B for me. I'm not going to focus too much on whether they're in the right order or whatever. But I know that Twilight Masquerade is definitely under Paldea Evolved for me personally. Next up, we have Stellar Crown. Okay. Another one that a smaller set, like Obsidian Flames. So what are the highlights? Squirtle and Bulbasaur. And I was saying Terapagos won't hold, right? When Terapagos was the top one, I said Squirtle would pass it. A lot of people weren't sure. But of course, Terapagos doesn't have that staying power. It's not a fan favorite Pokemon. it's not an OG Pokemon, it's not surprising that it fell below the normal illustration rares. So right, no good special illustration rares here. That's one thing. And then the illustration rares is pretty much Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and then what's the next? What's the next exciting one? Oh, that's not good. Milcery. Yeah, that is not good. Yeah. Yeah, so clearly I like the Squirtle and Bulbasaur, but clearly this is not a great set. So I'm going to put that in C as well. And honestly, I like, at least there's Squirtle and Bulbasaur compared to a Ghastly and Arbok. Again, yeah, we'll see. Maybe I rank them at the end, maybe I don't. But yeah, these are both lower tier of the high quality that Scarlet and Violet era brings, in my opinion. Next up, we have Surging Sparks. So Surging Sparks, pretty much people loved it to the point where I'm like, I don't think it's as good as people are saying. But it is good. People are just like hyping it up a lot, right? Pikachu did what Greninja did. But then you also had the really strong follow-up of Latias. Has the Latios to match. Melodic, I don't know how popular Melodic is, but it's holding good value. It's definitely not unpopular. I knew the Hydreigon wouldn't hold that strong. Gold cards, again, I wouldn't ever look at gold cards as if you're thinking about how well a set's doing. But overall set value is one of the higher ones. It's even higher than Paldea Evolved. Alolan Executor, right? So yeah, you have this one, Phoebus, going with the story with the Melodic, telling that story. Feels cute. Phanpy, Gen 2, a really cute one. You have some depth here. And then in the top, you have some really notable cards, including the Pikachu, the Latias, the Melodic, and the Latios. Those four are my favorites personally. So, but again, I don't think it's a home run. I don't like the rainbow hats, personally. I'm not loving them. And I think I'm grateful that Latias and Latios don't have them. And we know that from Team Up, like those two as a combo can do really well. And then at the end of the day, Pikachu is the mascot of the series. But again, I'm not the craziest fan of this artwork. So yeah, for me, this would actually be under Paldea Evolved. I do think it has more going for it than Twilight Masquerade, but there's nothing even close here as to how much I like that Magikarp. And that really puts Paldea Evolved above it for me. Then we're nearing the end here, people. We're nearing the end. Next up, we have Journey Together. So Journey Together, I feel like... Okay, I won't spoil it. Let's look at the cards first. Journey Together, total set value 652. So currently below both Temporal Forces and Paradox Rift. The issue is, again, it was a small set. So not a lot of artworks, and which, make it that the pull rates for each individual card is easier, and so the prices can't be as high. That being said, I think there's some great cards, especially Lily's Clefairy. Lily is popular. She has a history of holding good card value. Clefairy is a Gen 1 Pokemon. I think it's a great artwork. It's a great chase card that people will remember this set by. It'll be easy to later on be like, I'm chasing that Lily's Clefairy. I think it's a better chase card than the Raging Bolt, for example. Then you have Salamence, right? Not the variant of Salamence, but Salamence. More people will like it. More people will relate to it. Plus, I mean, how cool is that Dragon Mountains artwork? I like it a lot. And Zoroark, maybe because I didn't play Gen 5, it doesn't really mean a lot to me. Iono's Belly Bolt, I like more because of Iono, and I know how popular Iono is versus the Belly Bolt. I don't think Belly Bolt's that popular. Hobbsation. Yeah, nothing, honestly. My favorite cards, if I had to pick them out, Lily's Clefairy, Salamence, Ends Reshiram, and Articuno. Oh, Wailord as well. I have to put Wailord in there. And so again, not a lot. Not a lot to love, but enough that I'm still putting it in mid tier, and I think the top chase card stands out as holding good value. So I'll actually put that there. So yeah, Journey Together I feel like gets overhated when it started going down and becoming one of the cheapest sets booster boxes of the era, which I don't know if it still is, but it was at one point. I doubled down and I bought a case because I'm like, you know what? Maybe people are freaking out. Maybe they were paid in the beginning, but this is should not be the cheapest booster box of the era. There's plenty to like here, even if the depth isn't there. The stuff I do like, I like a fair bit. And finally, Destined Rivals. Guys, what did I say in my video about what I'm buying? I'm buying Destined Rivals. I know it's going to get reprinted. I know there's going to be more opportunities to buy, but I'm going to dollar cost average. I'm going to keep buying. Mewtwo is popular. Giovanni is popular. Combine them for Team Rocket's Mewtwo as a chase card. Dear Lord. Team Rocket set. Journey Together's. Not Journey Together, but whatever. Heatwave Arena, which brings in a lot of popular trainers with their Pokemon. Nostalgia. You got it with Ethan's Ho-Oh. You got Cynthia's Garchomp, as mentioned. You got Moltres, Gen 1, epic artwork. You got Nidoking. So much nostalgia in this card. This is one of the ones I want for sure. Again, Giovanni. It's that like, it's literally something I could have seen on the artwork for the first Pokemon game. That's something that looks like it's right out of there. It looks so sick. Nidoking at his best. Giovanni right there. Crobat. The Crobat, I know I like Crobat playing through Gen 2. Misty, we all know how popular Misty is. So this one has a special illustration rares. Then it has popular illustration rares. We have Misty Psyduck, right? Already one of the most expensive illustration rares of the era. We have Ethan's Typhlosion, very nostalgic. I was super excited when I got this card into Japanese. We have Lapras, again, Misty in there as well. We have Meowth. Like, Meowth is Team Rocket's Pikachu. We all grew up seeing Meowth in every episode. Here's Giovanni and Meowth. You have Houndoom, right? Plenty of people like Houndoom. You have Cynthia. Again, Cynthia's popular. Blaziken. Blaziken was a popular enough Pokemon, whether you like this artwork or not, to be the chase card of Chilling Reign. So Blaziken can be very popular. And then you have just Team Rocket stuff. I heard people say this Team Rocket Spit Ops was their favorite card. I don't care for it because I don't resonate with Spit Ops. I need good artwork and to like the Pokemon. But hey, people like this and it's holding more value than some other illustration rares. You have Weezing, right? A stereotypical Team Rocket Pokemon. So you definitely want to have this one. Gen 1, 2, Raticate, same thing. Kangaskhan, another Gen 1 to chase after. Team Rocket's Murkrow. I just love this freaking artwork. And for that reason, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes up in value over time. Rapidash, a Gen 1 Pokemon again. Right? This one has everything. This one has really good illustration rares. It has really good special illustration rares, which sets are supposed to have. And then it has depth. And not to mention, when you look at the main sets currently, this one's obviously the most total set value. We'll see how that holds up, but I do think it'll end up being either the most set value of all the main sets or one of the top three. But probably, if I had to guess, I would say it will maintain the highest set value. And yeah, you could always nitpick things here and there. I'm sure some people wish that they liked this artwork more with Mewtwo and Giovanni. I'm sure some people would have liked to have, maybe a matching Lugia with the Ho-Oh, so it's like Heart Gold, Soul Silver. There's probably some people that are upset that their main favorite Pokemon wasn't in it. But when you look at the sets of the era and you compare this wins by a mile, in my opinion. There's no but here for me. This is just a great set, and that's why I will continue to dollar cost average it. It's my only S tier set. So let me know what you think. Again, don't get too bogged down by the rankings within the specific category. For example, this middle one, I'm not dying on that hill about ranking them like this. Temporal Forces, Stellar Crown, whichever one you want to put first, go for it. The only thing I will say is, to me, Desperado is the best. Paladin Evolve is second. Surging Sparks and Twilight Masquerade are third and fourth, and probably Surging Sparks winning out just because it has the Pikachu and the Latias and Latios. But yeah, I think it's close for me between Surging Sparks and Twilight Masquerade, and that is how I would rank them. Let me know how you would rank them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Pokemon investing videos. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see next, and I'll see you in the next one.